Today, I'm back in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, to indulge two of my greatest passions, farm-to-table cooking and historic hospitality.
Great to have you here, Chef.
In this town, history is not merely reproduced and reenacted, it's diligently preserved. Join me in exploring the roots of a town that predates the founding of our nation, as well as the roots of our ingredients. All for a taste of history.
Founded in Germany in 1457, the Moravian Church is considered one of the oldest protesting churches in the world, predating Martin Luther by over 50 years.
The Moravians in the 1700s started sending out missionaries. They came here to Bethlehem and founded the community in 1741. It was actually named on Christmas Eve while singing a hymn with the line, "Not Jerusalem, lowly Bethlehem." And that's how Bethlehem, Pennsylvania received its name.
In 1747, Moravian missionaries James and Mary Burnside purchased the first privately held property in the settlement, where they cleared the land for a farm and kitchen garden and built the stone farmhouse still standing today.
After James passed away, Mary decided to sell the farm back to the church, and so this became plantation number 4. The Moravians had 4 large farms, so this was one of the farms that was leased to tenant farmers, which helped provide food for the community.
Walter, welcome to the Colonial Garden at Burnside Plantation. It's wonderful to have you here.
I tell you, without a gardener, what would I cook, right?
The Moravians were terrific at planting very intensely and generating an enormous amount of food for a family and the community. Myself and about 40 volunteers plan, maintain, and harvest the garden here.
It's kind of a window into the past,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
And the design is original to what it was. We have 3 tiers, the culinary and medicinal herb section. The next tier was the root garden, and then the bottom tier was called the bean garden, which is primarily the vegetables. And then we deliver to 2 food banks on a weekly basis, which
That's
is very
beautiful.
gratifying to everyone. We are eager to show you around today and harvest some stuff and then cook it in the summer kitchen a little later. So you recognize this?
Honestly, if you go to my cookbooks, you're gonna find mushroom so many times, because in German cooking, we use a lot of mushroom. We use it in a dry stage. So you pull it and you dry it, and then you use it for soups and for stews. I've never seen this much mushroom in a long time, so.
Well, you're welcome to take as much as you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, beautiful. Over there I see the gorgeous fennel.
Yeah, the fennel is wonderful here. Let me just get a cutting for you, and you can just smell how wonderful that is. And it's fresh and delicious.
Fennel is so beautiful.
So,
especially the bulb, they make a salad out of it.
Absolutely.
And I really like the idea that you have some flowers.
The Moravians used them for potpourri in the house, but then they were for pollinators, to attract beneficial insects to pollinate the vegetables.
Beautiful. Every time I look behind me, I see those gooseberries, which I haven't seen since I left Germany, which is quite a few years ago, but they're one of my favorites. When the color changes from green to red, that's when they're ready to eat. And it makes the best chili ever. And the deeper the red, the higher the sugar content.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
what you need. My childhood. Why did I ever leave Germany? I don't know. Tell me. That's beautiful. They're really sweet already.
They are good.
My mind is already thinking of what could I possibly cook next when you see the abundance you got here.
Yep.
And it's such a beautiful example of craftsmanship that you see displayed in this garden.
Since you're going to be making that beet recipe, we have beets that are just starting to ripen and get really reasonable size. I've got the red Early Wonders.
Early Wonders,
Yep.
nice.
It's doing tremendously well. We just started pulling them.
Beautiful.
These are going to be delicious. I mean, you're going to cook these in the next 30 minutes. It's like you couldn't get anything fresher.
Do me a favor, hand me this one over here. I mean, look at that. Look at this one over here.
Listen to that crunch.
Wow. And the sweetness from that.
Yeah. I like a man who eats right in the garden.
Those beets are so sweet and so spectacular. I can't wait to try the recipe. Joan, what a pleasure to meet you.
Welcome.
Let me tell you, for a chef, it cannot get better than that. We're cooking from the garden to the table. And we're making the spectacular recipe that you researched.
This is called To Fry Beets. It's from John Knott from 1724. We took the beets, we baked them, and then peeled them.
When you roast something, you enhance the flavor.
The sweetness.
Because the liquid evaporates. In vegetables are usually 80 to 85% water.
Right.
So roasting it is the way to go.
Yes.
That happens to be Early Wonder. It's the name of the beets. Imagine that?
That's right, Pat had said
Like
that.
me, I'm an Early Wonder.
You
Just
were-
kidding.
We need a fresh egg. But we also need just one yolk. And then we're going to use our birch twig whisk.
Want me to help?
Would you like to? Yes,
Oh, yeah.
please. That would be lovely.
Look how well it works.
It works very,
Look at
very
it, look
well.
at it.
It works very, very well. And we're going to add some sherry to it.
Beautiful. All right, we got the sherry.
Yes. Got the sherry, and then we're going to put in some cream.
Here we go.
Okay, we got the liquid part of the batter done. Let's do the dry part. Add some flour, some salt, and a little bit of pepper.
You need the cloves now?
I was gonna say, yes, we need the cloves.
Oh,
a
I can
big
smell
pinch.
that.
Nothing like fresh grated
It takes
spices.
it takes a lot of work, but
Yes.
it's really beautiful. Oh,
Okay.
it smells so good.
Yes, it does. And then add the liquid to the dry. And then those slices of beets we'll end up putting in here, and they will steep for a while. Just smell that.
It's really.
Isn't that good?
I got to try a little bit of that marinade. Wow. I would have never believed it.
I was gonna say,
No.
so simple, but the flavor is just unbelievable.
Obviously, it's raw flour in there, but the flavor of the roasted beets together with a few spices, I mean, that is spectacular. I mean,
Yes.
hard to believe. With a simple
Yes.
recipe, but so delicious.
Yes. All right, so we have some all-purpose flour in here again, and we're going to add some breadcrumbs,
Yep.
but there's no grocery stores at this time. We had to bake our bread and use our rasper to grate it up,
That
and
is-
we're putting twice as much
Joy, this
breadcrumbs.
is really hard to believe. I have the flavor profile right in my taste buds.
Then the parsley will go in here. Oh, wonderful.
Don't get better than that, I tell you what. You obviously know that this recipe is not going to stay with you anymore.
Yes,
You know that already, right?
Well, and I don't think we're
gonna-
going to have any beets to take home.
I'm gonna make this one time with the golden beets as well. Interesting enough.
Oh, that would be good. And now we're going to go get the frying pan ready. We're going to bring out some of the hot coals and make a nice burner. Well, we're melting the butter, and then we move it around to try to see how hot our pan is in different sections.
Perfect, yeah.
And it seems pretty even. Dredge some of those beets
And stick
and
them in
get
the
them
pan.
frying.
What's nice about this particular skillet, it's easy to rotate it so that you have even heat. Oh,
Ah, beautiful.
yep. Wow, what a beauty. Look at the color. The beets shining through. You got the fresh breadcrumbs, a little bit of the flour, the parsley from the garden. This one doesn't take more than a couple of minutes, just brown on both sides, because the beets are already roasted, cooked
Right.
completely.
I've been waiting for this.
You get the first bite,
Oh, thank you.
I get the second bite. Oh, gosh,
Thank you.
what a flavor. I kid you not. Huh?
Very good, isn't it?
You done excellent. Trust me, this is one spectacular vegetable dish. From the garden into the summer kitchen, spectacular.
Despite living in a closed society, the Moravians had an outstanding reputation for their hospitality towards outsiders. In 1758, they established the Sun Inn just on the outskirts of the town. Known for its renowned suites and accommodations, this inn hosted passing travelers and even George Washington himself.
Taverns, if they had anywhere to stay, you may have been sleeping head to toe in a bed with another individual. The Sun Inn was unique. You had private bedrooms and a sitting area, and also the cuisine was phenomenal. So anybody of particular importance passing north or south would come here.
Not far from the Sun Inn, the Moravian congregation would construct the Golden Eagle Hotel. Built on the site of the very first house in Bethlehem, this lavish hotel would remain in operation for over 100 years. In the early 1900s, the steel industry in Bethlehem was gaining global recognition for its introduction and success of the steel I-beam. These fireproof beams fostered the construction of buildings taller than 6 stories high and championed the skyscrapers and bridges of modern-day cities. Recognizing the need for a new state-of-the-art hotel, the president of Bethlehem Steel, Charles Schwab, tore down the Eagle Hotel and constructed the historic Hotel Bethlehem in 1922. Made from Bethlehem Steel's new innovations, this rare, fireproof hotel was a marvel for visitors and dignitaries from around the world and would become the grand dame of Bethlehem for decades to come.
It's amazing sitting right here. You couldn't possibly find a more historic site that I know of in this country.
This location effectively has been the center of the community of Bethlehem for over 275 years. From this room, the view of the history that you speak of is incredible.
It's right here.
We look at the first municipal water system in the United States is right down below us. The blacksmith shops here, the tannery. The Cuisine house up the street is the largest 18th century log structure building in America. And all of the buildings are in continuous use. There's over 25 buildings preserved that represent the Moravian settlement.
I am so excited for the opportunity to be able to cook today at the historic Hotel Bethlehem with my good friend Michael Adams, chef. It's a pleasure to be here, and you know, your reputation precedes you.
Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to cooking these dishes with you.
The recipes, you have a lot of European tradition and early 18th century tradition incorporated in your offerings. It's very nice.
That's right, and we use classical techniques and marriage of flavors, and then we're always throwing our own twists in the things.
I've seen you're a big supporter of Pennsylvania Farm. I can see that. Obviously, most of the things you purchase, or you try to purchase as much as you can.
Oh, we certainly do, and farms just keep opening, new farms opening, and they just keep offering new ingredients, and it keeps everybody excited in the kitchen.
Well, that's a good thing, because otherwise it gets dull and boring. I mean, you gotta come up with new ideas.
We're preparing roasted highborn farm rack of venison with salsify and nice celery root soubise and port wine sauce.
So salsify now is almost a forgotten vegetable, almost forgotten. Obviously, people like you dig for it and find it and bring the 18th century back to life.
Yeah, and we're really lucky to have Burnside Plantation with the Historic Museum and Sites, and actually they grow salsify every year for us. You know, their goal is to emulate what they grew back in the 1800s.
That's beautiful.
And so, you know, it's hard to find other farmers to do that because it's a full season, but they do it very successfully, and we're happy to have them as a partner. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start the port wine juniper sauce, and we're gonna take a little bit of butter.
Can never have enough butter.
No. And we're gonna take some just thinly sliced shallots.
I like shallots better than onions many times because it's sweeter.
Oh yeah.
It's more flavor into it.
Yep.
So, Chef, how does it feel being able to cook in the dining room today versus the
I think it's
kitchen?
great. It's fun.
But you got such a beautiful hotel.
Thank you.
We wanted to show it off, you know. So
We're gonna do some juniper now. And we're gonna do some bay leaves
yeah.
and some fresh thyme. We're gonna put some peppercorn in here, just a few peppercorns. And we're just gonna sweat those shallots and bloom those herbs in the butter a little bit. You don't really want caramelization on those onions. You just want to sweat them until they're translucent, and then
you get a beautiful aroma.
beautiful.
It's such a nice.
Takes away that rawness. You get
Yeah.
the sweetness from the shallot, and then that great juniper and peppercorn and thyme and bay leaf. A really nice balance. And then we're going to take our port wine.
You make sure the port wine is good. Did you taste it before?
Not before the show. We'll wait till after. Okay, now we're just gonna take that and we're gonna simmer that for a while, let that reduce, and then our next step is gonna be the celery root soubise.
Yeah, beautiful. Celery root, again, a forgotten vegetable.
It's strange. Some things will fade away for a while, and then all of a sudden it will show up on menus everywhere. It's, you know, again, we use these in soups, and then we'll throw them in the sous vide circulator and as an accoutrement for, you know, our lamb dishes and our venison dishes and,
Perfect.
you know, some of our beef dishes, and we'll shave it down and pickle it, and, you know, so we're always trying to come up with new things.
The celery root is obviously great for stock because it's a tremendous amount of flavor. Much more flavor than the green celery as we know.
Same size dice here.
Because obviously it goes later in the blender.
Correct, we're gonna puree everything together. We're gonna use some of the same herbs for this. Again, we're gonna start off with some butter. Onions.
You want all of it?
Yep, we'll put all of them in there. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing with the celery root and the onions. We're gonna sweat them down for about 20 minutes. And we're gonna add some aromatics to it. We're gonna do the bay leaf. We're gonna do the thyme. And for this one, we're gonna take a little bit of the rosemary.
The rosemary.
Just to perfume that sauce, and juniper and rosemary go great together.
Good time.
We'll put a leaf of sage in there as well. Smash that a little bit. And add that to yep. We're gonna take it and simmer it in the vegetable stock. You know, we'll use a very neutral melange of vegetables. Carrot, celery, leeks, a little bit of onion. And we're gonna let that go for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna finish that by adding some cream. We're gonna reduce that down, and then we're gonna puree it.
Okay, yep, perfect.
All right.
This is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking rack of venison you got there.
We're just gonna demonstrate here how to tie it so that if you do roast the whole rack, you're gonna get a nice even result.
Yep.
Tie it on the bottom side. So we're gonna just make our first loop here. And you don't want to tie it too tight.
That's perfect.
So we're just gonna keep that nice and snug, and we're gonna do that all the way down.
If you don't, when you start roasting it, the lower part becomes completely well done.
Yep.
Tight to
And
get it.
then you have rare at the other end.
Yep.
And you just do 2 loops like that, and we're gonna take it across the bottom, the closer end, and we're gonna take it up through, and we're just gonna do the same thing with every bone. at this point, you know, for the restaurant, because of the, you know, the high volume that we do, we'll put it in the sous vide circulator,
Nice.
you know, for about 2 hours, and then we pull it out, and then we'll
A nice medium rare.
nice medium rare. It's perfect, and then from that point, sear them in the pans, which is what we're gonna do.
Wow, what a miracle between classic and technology. Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing balance. All right, so we're just gonna take the string off here, and we don't have to untie everything. We're just gonna cut it at each loop, and then we'll
Cut a couple of chops.
cut a couple chops. I'm gonna take this end chop off.
Look at that.
And do you see that? That is
Oh,
just
gosh.
absolutely perfect.
I can't even.
And so,
believe it, yeah?
you know, the next step is we're gonna get some nice caramelization on here, and we're gonna baste it a little bit in some butter and those aromatics, and then I mean, it is an absolute gorgeous piece of venison. I mean, it is.
And what's so beautiful about it is the consistency you gain by doing it this way. Yeah? That's great.
Now we want a slow caramelization on this, right?
Well, it's already completely beautiful medium rare, so you just want to get the flavor enhanced.
We're gonna turn the heat up and then back down in a few minutes.
God, I get a smell of that. Great.
We're gonna let these cook for about 4 minutes, just till the point where it gets a really nice caramelization on there. Once you get to about a minute away from it being done on the first side, we're just gonna take a little bit of rosemary and a little bit of thyme, and we're gonna baste that a little bit. So we're gonna take that butter, and again, you're adding flavor to each stage of the cooking process. We did it in the sous vide bag, and now we're doing it in the pan, and you would do the same thing if you were roasting it. You just want to baste those, and now you get a nice caramelization on there.
If I had my choice, I would like it like that, better than roasting.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you get the additional flavor right there. Look at it.
We're gonna get the flavor of the rosemary in there, and you don't want the pan hot enough where you're gonna brown the butter. Just hot enough where it's melting down and infusing those herbs, and you get a really great result.
So now, in the end, you're just going to take the salsifis that you already poached, peeled and poached, some garlic.
Yeah, and that's it. With same pan as the venison.
Yeah, so you get the flavor.
So it picks up all those flavors: the rosemary, the thyme,
And some salt.
and a little salt and
Yeah.
pepper.
Perfect.
And then let's just throw smashed clove of garlic,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Not to overpower it, but to enhance it. Beautiful.
That's it, just to warm it through. Okay, so now we're just gonna add the little bit of demi-glace, about equal part of demi and the port wine reduction. With the sous vide, we're gonna just add some heavy cream, and we're gonna let that reduce down by about half. Finish the sauce with a little salt and fresh ground pepper. We're just gonna pull those herbs out of the sous vide, and you put it in your KitchenAid blender and puree it up. And the venison.
Salsifis. And it's again grown for you right out the historic farm, right?
Yes, at the Burnside Plantation. They grow the salsify every year for us. Just gonna spoon this out, but you certainly strain it when you're finished the reduction.
Look at the beautiful sheen to it. Garnished it with a little bit of thyme. It looks beautiful, almost too good to eat. First, I gotta try a little bit of your salsifis. Oh, I love salsifis. And then I want to try a little bit of the A little bit with the sous vide. Oh, wow. Give it up, it's spectacular. Flavor. Oh, all the aromas that we give into it penetrated the meat so extremely well. And then obviously the sous vide speaks for itself. What a beautiful plate. What a great job, chef.
Thank you.
All for a taste of history from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.